Shalom, family. This is women in scripture. You know, people have a wrong perception about the women, and the women in scripture are not really looked at. Should the woman be silent? Should the woman be suppressed and not able to speak? Should a woman not have authority over a man? Did the Most High proclaim these things? These are some of the things we're going to look at according to scripture. And it's funny how most men never ever talk about the women. You know, the prophetess that was in scripture, as if they never exist. So that's what I want to do here, and give these women their due, because they are due. They've been in the scripture, but wicked men don't want to acknowledge them. And this is something the Most High acknowledged them. The Most High gave them authority. He gave some of them authority. He gave them, we're going to see in scripture, he gave them authority over men. So who is any man to say nowadays a woman should not have authority over a man? It's amazing. Even some of the female teachers, I don't know, they don't go into this. They stay away from this. And you know, they continue to ignore it. This is being ignored, and it's been ignored too long. And some of the women, you know, they feel as though a woman is not supposed to teach. A woman can't do this. A woman can't do that. Stay in your home. Stay home. This is what they're saying. And we know where this comes from. The first scripture, Exodus 15:20. Can a woman be a prophet? Prophetess? Then Miriam. Here's Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took the timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. So Exodus 15:20 is calling Miriam a prophetess. You ever hear a man teacher call Miriam the prophet, the prophetess? No. You ever heard a woman preacher mentioning Miriam the prophetess? Probably not, because they are going overlooked. Now, how did this happen? Jasher 68:1-4. And it was at that time the Ruach of Yahuah, this was the Ruach of Yahuah, was upon Miriam. She was one of the first when they was in captivity in Egypt. She was the first to prophesy. The daughter of Amram. Why didn't the Most High speak to the father? Why didn't the Most High speak to Aaron, the sister of Aaron? Aaron was alive. Miriam was alive. Why didn't he speak to one of these men? And she went forth and prophesied about the house, saying, behold, a son will be born unto us from my mother and father this time, and he will save Yasharal from the hands of Egypt. Now, here it is. There was an opportunity. The Most High could have spoke to the father. This is the father of Miriam, Aaron, and Moshe. The father. He was the father, and the Most High didn't speak to him. Now, the father could have took on some of the attitude the men have today and said, you are to keep silent. You're not to speak. You are to keep, you don't have authority over me. No, the father didn't do that. What did the father do? And when Amram heard the words of his daughter, he went and took his wife back to his house. He had driven her away. After he had driven her away, at the time when Pharaoh ordered every male child of the house of Jacob to be thrown into the water. So he sent her away. And so he sent for her. In verse 3, he listened to his daughter, someone younger than him, his own daughter. He listened to this female. She spoke from the mouth. She spoke what came from the Most High. He can speak to whoever he wants to speak to. Remember, he know what he's doing. We just don't like some of the things he does, and we complain about it. So Amram took Jochebed, his wife, 3 years after he had driven her away, and he came to her, and she conceived. And at the end of 7 months, her conception, she brought forth a son, and the whole house was filled with great light, as of the light of the sun and moon at the same time of their shining. So this is Moshe being born. And Miriam was the one that proclaimed this. She was the first one to prophesy when they was in this bondage. Micah 6:4. Your leaders won't bring this out to you because they don't want you to know this. But know this, know and understand this. And some of the women, they're going to have to change their thinking after seeing these scriptures. For I brought you up from the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of bondage. And I sent before you Moshe. We talk about Moshe. He sent Moshe to the people to deliver them from bondage. And Aaron, we talk about Aaron. He sent Aaron to deliver them. He helped deliver them. And Miriam. Why? Why do we never say he sent Aaron, Moshe, and Miriam? The prophet said Moshe, Aaron, and Miriam. But most teachers will only teach Moshe and Aaron. Moshe and Aaron. And they never ever mention Miriam. But here she is. And once again, she's going unlooked. And these women have been overlooked, not looked at long enough. And the Most High is sitting back. It's in Scripture. Why is it no one bringing this out? Why are they avoiding? Why are they ignoring? This is what the Most High is saying. And people they're gonna have to give an account for ignoring this on purpose because of what a certain fellow says. And we're gonna get into that. 2 Kings 22:14. So Hilkiah, the priest, Achim, Akbor. Here are the people. Here are men. Watch this. We're looking at men. Shaphan, Asaiah, went to Huldah, the prophetess. These men had to go to Huldah, the prophetess. Why are these men going to the woman? I thought a woman was not supposed to have authority over a man. You see, that bull crap never came from the mouth of the Father. It came from the mouth, the sprouter, the book. Listen, the Dead Sea Scrolls called this person a sprouter of lies. And you have to understand, if there's someone that's going to lead millions upon millions of people astray throughout history, he will be no doubt a sprouter of lies. And this is a sprouter of lies, that anyone that says a woman is not to have authority over a man. And we're seeing these men, one of them a priest, come to Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shalom. Here we sing some Abri words here. We have Akbor, brother, Shalom, peace. And people don't understand when they see these Abri words that don't know Abri. They came to her. Nehemiah 6:14. And Ma'alahim, remember Tobiah and Sanballat, according to these their works. And the prophetess, remember this prophetess. Yahuah, remember this prophetess. Noadiah, remember. Because these people are not talking about it. The people is going to ignore them. But remember, these are the people you spoke to. These are the people you put in office. These are the women you put above men. And men had to come to them. They had authority over men. How is it we don't know these things? How is it these wicked teachers saying women don't have a place in Scripture, but to be in the house and to be silent and not speak? That's not what the Most High is saying. Isaiah 6:3. Here's Yashayahu, Isaiah. Then I went to the prophetess. Here's his wife. Is calling his wife a prophetess? I went to the prophetess, and she conceived and bore a son. Here we sing another prophetess. Luke 2:36. Now there was one, Anna, a prophetess. Anna, a prophetess? Who are these prophetess? Why no one is talking about these prophetess? And I want you to understand, I'm only bringing out prophetess here. There were many other women that had authority and that spoke. Because remember, one says you are not permitted to speak in the assembly of people. But here it is. We're going to see, not only did they speak, they had authority. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to decide, are you going to listen to? The words that came from the mouth of the Father, or the words that came from a mouth of a man that had a so-called conversion, and there was not one witness to this conversion? He witnessed the whole conversion himself. And this is who our people believe. That's another point. Be careful. I mentioned something about this deceiver. Be careful who you defend, because you may be defending the enemy. You may be defending someone. You see, that's what Isaiah said. He said, we call evil good and good evil. Be careful. If you don't know, don't say anything. Make sure you research and you study. Don't listen to any man. Dig into these scriptures for yourself. See what is being said. Find out what the Most High says, and find out what the men say. So here's Anna, prophetess. And she was of the tribe of Asher. Now, this is Judges 4. And I'm going to skip, starting at the 4th verse, I'm going to skip a little bit. Now, Deborah. Here we go with Deborah. I heard someone saying some harsh words about Deborah because someone asked the teacher a question about Deborah. Well, what about Deborah? And his attitude was all wrong. What about Deborah? That woman. He referred to her as that woman. Yahuah rebukes you. You are with the enemy when you talk like this. That woman, Deborah? The scripture doesn't say that woman, Deborah. You sound like the first man when he said that woman you gave me. Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lebanon, was judging Yasharal at that time. She was a judge, guys. I shouldn't say guys. Okay, she was a judge, family. We have to get this. You ladies that listen, listen, ladies agree with these false teachers. How can you ladies agree that a woman should keep silent? How can you agree with these men? How can you agree with these men that talk bad about the prophetess Deborah? And I see women agreeing with this. Shameful, 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 shameful. Here she is, judging Yasharal. Do you know what that means, judge? She was the leader. She was the leader. When there's a problem, there's an issue, you go to her. Not only she's a prophetess, she has the word. She's making the judgment. She's the law. She is the one. She's the leader. And she's leading both men and women. Watch this. And she sit under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the mountains of Ephraim. And the children of Yasharal and Bani Yasharal, that's the people, men and women, came up to her for judgment. They came up to her for judgment, men and women. And the Most High gave her this authority. Men and women came up to her for judgment. And she sent and called for Barak. I have to stop here. I had to deal with this person, this comment that they left. This was the comment, this new person, new people, be careful. Don't, make sure you research and study and read. Make sure you understand before you open your mouth. You know, there's a saying, and it goes something like this. If you are ignorant, if you keep your mouth closed, we won't know you're ignorant. But if you open your mouth, you will remove all doubt. Now we know you're ignorant. Because I said Barak. And she said, did this man, talking about me, did this man say Barak? I can't believe this man said Barak. We're reading right here in scripture. So this is evil, right? This man's name is evil. Isn't Barak the name of a Muslim president? So what? Muslims are called Barak. They're called Yusuf after Joseph. Many of them, a lot of them, Abraham. They're named after Abraham, the forefather of many nations, because they know that he is their forefather. So when they call themselves Abraham, I have a really close friend. His name is Abraham. So when they call themselves Abraham, that name is wicked now.